Ah, greetings and welcome to another episode of Ballchat podcast. I am one of the hosts, Junior, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host. But before we big up Benta, we gotta start with the Queen first, the Empress, the good sister. Come on, what's going on?
That Mr. gonna kill you today. Nobody sweep me up. Nobody friend me up, Junior. It's okay. We're gonna talk about you and your 6'3", but big up yourself, Junior. It's nice to see your face, your smiling face. After that shambolic performance today, you think it'll get away?
See my face there? This is my real face over my right shoulder. You see the brother, look at the brother head. What's it, Jesus Christ, oh, I'm just watch. Benton! Why, Benton? Come on. It's fall. It's the autumn season, and come on, it's just that bringing that fall weather. Benton, bring us some fall weather.
Bless up, family. Big up to all the listeners. Yo, Junior, God go with you today. We'll have to come on finish with you. I mean, you and Manchester United. You cannot go wrong. Big up. I am here to see it, family. I am here for this. Big up. Let's go.
Big up Dalton. Big up to Unruly TV. Unruly TV come on and instantly say Manchester is blue. Dalton said, what could have caused this lateness? Let me tell you something, Dalton. I was in ICU. All right? But now, thankfully, I am back out. So, we're ready. Ball chat, we're here. So, let's kick off the show. And we normally start off with ballers and bugs of the week. And, Benton is normally the person that drives the show. So, I'm going to try my best to do it to the best of my ability. That's Benton like. So, I'm gonna be the official boaty today. So, ballers and bugs, ladies first. Come on, who is your baller of the week?
I have to give it up to Holland and Manchester City. That boy broke all the records them out there. He's certainly on his way. We don't talk a lot about Kevin. I think I saw a stat that says Kevin has never won player of the month or player of the season. I have to double check, but he has not won something, and I think it is a disgrace because Kevin and him pass them on him foot is just sublime. Um, Party and Arsenal, they're keeping the party going, and I know Party is Junior's guy. Him don't want to talk about it because he might gonna seem like him a Judas, but um Arsenal continues to surprise all of us. After last year's showing, the Arteta out gang, not spending a lot of money to get players in, we never expected that. No, Arsenal would still be leading the table, even though Manchester City and them baller dropped 3 and 6 and 5 on some idiot side. Arsenal is still leading the race. So Party and Arsenal, Holland, City, and Kevin, those are my ballers of.
All right, so Benton, moving on to you. Who's your ballers of the week?
Yeah, ballers of the week. Boy, come on. I check off all of the ballers, but context for Erling Haaland numbers. It sometimes we need to accentuate or really kind of amplify what this youth is doing. He scored 3 hat tricks in the Premier League, the fastest to 3 hat tricks in the Premier League in Premier League history. 8 games it takes this brother to get to 3 hat tricks. The next man on the list, our next brother, I don't even remember what his name, must take 49 or 48 games. I think he's one of the TVG or one of them brother there. But Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's an impressive ball of the week for Erling Haaland. What he's doing is ridiculous. Ball of the week to Trossard. Belgium's own Trossard, Brighton own Trossard. This youth needs to be in the starting 11 for Belgium come FIFA World Cup 2022. As the brethren Donald said, big up yourself, Donald. Trossard and Brighton get the ball of the week. Impressive showing against Liverpool. They let 2 points go, but Brighton is playing some good football, even without them fancy coach. And yo, once I ball of the week to the Chelsea referee, the ref the game and didn't give So this is for all the Chelsea fans. They might give the referee a ball of the week for not giving Thiago Silva the red card. So those are my ballers of the week. Ball of the week to Erling Haaland. Accentuate those stats. The boy is impressive. Ball of the week to Trossard of Brighton. And the referee, I'm going to do Chelsea fans a favor and give the referee that ref the game against Crystal Palace a ball of the week. Because I know they want to give him a ball of the week because he gave them those 3 points for not giving Thiago Silva the red card.
All right, all right. So for me, my ball of the week, I'm going to give it to not only to Everton, but I'm also going to give it to Frank Lampard. And we'll sit down here and we'll joke about Frank Lampard. I joke about Frank Lampard. I beat Frank Lampard when I get him beaten, right? But what I saw from Everton this week, and what I've continued to see from Everton, without a stacked deck, is a coach that is finally starting to coach. He's finding ways to win, and that is how I judge a coach. Now, for me though, I am a little bit skeptical because it feels kind of David Moyes-ish. But I have to give it to Frank Lampard. But I have to give it to my striker, Erling Haaland. The man destroyed my side to the... It was no... Phil Foden scored 2 hat-trick too, but somehow it just felt like Erling Haaland hat-trick was just a different type of hat-trick. Brighton, I have to give Brighton ball of the week. I want to give them bug of the week for that show the game against Liverpool, but I have to give them bug of the week for not having a coach. You don't have a coaching staff, and you got a big, bad, mighty Liverpool and could have come out of the game with 3 points. That's nothing to smile at because I still think Liverpool is going to come out at the end of the day in the top 3, maybe the top 2. So definitely have to give it to Brighton. Come on. We're going to move on to the bugs of the week. You know, what you have for your bugs?
Brighton.
What?
I am giving them. I think I should give Liverpool also, a bug. But I have to be fair. Brighton is now in 4th, above my side, and then they have a coach. So I struggled with giving them a baller, but I have to give them a bug. You're up 2-0. You missed so many chances. They could have been up 4-0 on Liverpool in the first half. And I think when teams miss their opportunities, it always come back and bite them. And it's the same thing happened with them when the 3-3 draw. So I have to give Brighton a bug. Liverpool and, should I say Klopp? This is the thing. Players can have bad seasons. Trent is having a bad season, but yet Klopp is saying, I am going to keep him because he's a good footballer and we know what he has. Yes, we know what Trent can do. But at this moment, Trent is a liability. For a liability, you put him on the bench. So I have to give it to Klopp for making the decision of playing Trent week in and week out, seeing that Trent is not at his best. Brighton get the bug because they should have dismantled a wounded Liverpool. Liverpool was not playing to the standard that we know that they can play. Aston Villa needs to get a bug. Aston Villa was up. No, sorry, they had a man advantage against poor Leeds, and I realized this, and I hope people at USA realizing this. When Leeds play upon Peacock, or we have to find a stream to watch Leeds, them play good. When they put them from prime time, they look like ordinary squad. So Aston Villa had a man advantage and still could not tear down a Leeds, dibby Leeds. So Aston Villa and Stevie G also get a bug for me.
Why, come on, have an infestation. Menton, do you have any bugs left?
Yeah. Before I just want to keep the ball as I'm bug moving, but I wanted to highlight one ball. I forgot. Napoli and Luciano Spalletti and the work what them are doing at Napoli. Luciano Spalletti have Napoli doing wonderful things. So ball of the week. My apologies to the Napoli Nation
So
because
you
they
get a
deserve a ball of
bug of the week for that said Napoli. Don't worry. I gonna give myself a bug of the
Yes,
week soon too.
yes, yes. So then pivot to my bugs. The referee, even though the Chelsea fans gave the referee a ball of the week, the rest of the football world is going to give him a bug of the week. Bad refereeing. There's no way Thiago Silva should be on the field. Should have gotten a red card. So he's
You
the bug
come
of
back
the
with
week
the
for me.
foolishness.
He's the bug of the week for me. The Chelsea fans gave him a ball of the week for saving them. The rest of football world is giving him a bug
I
of the
did
week.
not give him no ball of the week, but we talk about that after. Go on,
Fight,
sir.
fight, 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 fight.
You're not taking the 3 points. You're not taking the 3 points.
And we'll hug up the 3 points too. But let us talk about the foul before the call. But carry on. We'll talk about it in the other segment.
So the referee gets a bug of the week from the rest of the football world, including me. Chelsea fans are giving him a ball of the week.
All right. So I only have 2 bugs. 3 bugs. 3 bugs. I'm going to give myself a bug of the week. And people, who say the triple bucks, watch cupboard face. Look, cupboard the right here, so watch cupboard face. I'm giving myself a bug of the week for not giving Mona a baller of the week for having such a good record in the food. Watch cupboard face. Mona forget baller of the week. So, Mr. Butler, sorry, people who are carrying news, go give me some Butler about Ballchat. Make sure to tell him, say Junior would have like him and always attack bad about him and Ray, and give him baller of the week because the man have Mona as a legitimate contender. My other bug of the week, Steve Nicol. Now, I'm not going to give it to Ten Hag. I'm not going to give it to Man U. There's nobody for Man U to get bug of the week. Steve Nicol really come up on TV, for the people, them good ESPN. You know what the man say? Ten Hag underestimated Manchester City. Ten Hag should have played defensive football versus Man City. He tried to attack them, and that's why Man City scored. Watch it. And we'll ask ourselves why England, where Steve Nicol come from? England, what it? We'll ask ourselves why England can't win a damn World Cup. Because you're so idiot like them that run football at England. You talk about the man no attack. If you defend. Man, shut up here, man. Bug of the week. And I'm not going to put up a picture, not talk about the teams, but I definitely have to give a bug of the week to the staff that is responsible or that could have stopped the stampede that happened at the Indonesian football game that cost the life of 125 people. There was a fight that happened, I don't remember the name of the teams, but there was a fight that happened, it caused a stampede over in Indonesia. 125 people lost their lives right now. The earlier count was 174, but now it's 125. Look, I don't know. That is shambolic policing, shambolic administration, and I could have cracked so many jokes, but not cracking any jokes. It's just sad. So many lives lost at a football game. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. So
But it's not the first time. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
the
not the
first
first
time.
time.
They have a them and the Mexican league, them have this little thing about them where, and I think the police actually, they're saying that the police actually caused the stampede, not the fight itself, because then they fired tear gas. Also, Steve Nicol is Scottish. And also, I am so disappointed in you because I decided that I beat it up enough today. And I said I was not going to give Manchester United a bug. I was going to give Junior the opportunity to give them. And you don't do it.
what did I give Manchester United bug for? But tell her last week some man you will get run off of the field. But tell her that.
Yeah, but we never expect 6-3. You have ballers who are world class. No, let's not say world class.
We're so top. We're so go to the football roundup. Dalton Stewart says ballers is Haaland, Foden and Trossard. He also brought Michael Owen with the 48 games on the record, Benton. Reggie Lafad said, Bug of the Week, Tottenham, Jesus, Pim, North London is red. Oh, we forget about Tottenham. Look how Tottenham started. You see how Tottenham started the season hot? Reggie, but like that one. You see how Tottenham started the season hot against Southampton. And I told you guys on this show, smoke and mirrors, it feel like Man U versus Chelsea a couple years ago. You see how coming like a genius now. Reggie also said ballers of the week. Haaland, Foden, Trossard, Geraldo. Only time you see Geraldo is when Arsenal are going with something. You know. The only time Geraldo show a face. So bug of the week is Villa. And ball of the week, City and Gunners. Only time you see Geraldo. And when Arsenal. If Arsenal are going good, look out for Geraldo. Big up Dalton. Dalton, them out. When Liverpool are get run off of the field, Dalton still forward. That's why we can rate 1 or 2 Liverpool people still. So, but let's go to our football roundup. Manchester Derby. Let me see. Come on, I think the audio thing right here so not really too good. Let me make sure so this thing. No, come on. Trust me, come on, the audio not working right now. Let me make sure so the audio thing is set up. Let me come back over here, so but Manchester Derby, hold on, come on. People, as you can see, I am manning the show today. Normally it's Benton, and we just have to make it work a little bit. So, I want to see what a little bit, no man, sure. Anyway, test again the come on.
So what's that? Manchester
All right,
United
yeah, come true.
garbage. Oh,
Go,
yeah, hear that?
Go ahead,
Garbage.
come on. Go ahead.
Listen, you're right. Nobody expected Manchester United in the current form to beat Manchester City. You did say it. Let me give you that. Let me give that. But at no point you should have Manchester United getting 6-3. It was 6-1. And we disagree about this. We disagree about what your coach Ten Hag said, where him never bring on the runner-up goat because he's protecting his legacy. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo should have thought about his legacy when he decided to go play for Manchester United. Garbage. And I think Ten Hag should be his coach and not his friend. Yes, this is what if, and you realize that the game did not end 6-0 or 6-1 because the changes that he made actually, started to shift the game. And on top of that, Manchester City took their feet off the gas. So in my mind, yes, Ronaldo still don't have the pace, but he's an attacking player. Yes, Marshall is on the pitch, Junior, and I thought that Ronaldo should have been the first sub, and then they bring on Marshall. But I just thought that Manchester City needed players to run at them, get in the box, make Kyle Walker them chop them down, just like how it was Marshall who got the penalty. Mm-hmm. And then see what could go from there. I am of the belief that points are important. Points are always important, but goal difference too. Goal difference can make the difference between winning the title, getting in Champions League, or in Europa. Why? What is the purpose of bringing Ronaldo and Casemiro if they're going to be bench buddies? Somebody tweeted a picture that says Manchester United spent £7 million to bring Casemiro to be bench buddies with Ronaldo at this point. So I do believe that Man City is a force to be reckoned with, but I just don't think that Manchester United should have been run off the park. You guys are a storied club, and it's a little bit embarrassing. I am worried that when Chelsea play Man City, you might kill me. I forgot log off and hide because I think it's going to be a walloping. But I just think that Ronaldo should have been on the pitch to help his team.
All right. So Benton, what do you have to say to what Cabo just said?
I mean, that's fair enough. I understand Cameron's agenda as a Messi loyalist and a Messi fan. But the truth is somewhere there, right? Between what Cameron has said and Cameroon's perspective and the decision not to start to play Ronaldo. The game was out of reach, but I understand that these players, the Ronaldos, the Casemiros of the world, you don't have these star name players and you have them on one bench. I mean, you spend 70 million pounds for Casemiro. He is used to elite, top level, competitive games. El Clasico, if Brazil matches against Argentina. This look a Manchester derby is something that you need to put him in. And the defense, the butcher, Mr. Martinez and Varane were getting exposed without valuable protection. So Ten Hag got it wrong, clearly by the score. The last time someone scored a hat trick in this thing, well, the Haaland numbers are ridiculous. Is a brother named Francis Lee in 1970. You know, these numbers that Haaland put out cannot be ignored. So, have to big up. No player has scored a Manchester derby hat-trick since Francis Lee in 1970. The last time Manchester United got kicked up by so much in a top-flight game was against Huddersfield in the dark years of 1930. So, Ten Hag got it wrong clearly by the score. Cannot leave Casemiro on the bench. And the Darth Vader need to be involved in some way.
And it's not only one hat-trick, was two.
Yes.
It's not only one hat-trick, it's two hat-tricks. So, Junior.
I keep forgetting about the Stockport. Yeah, I keep forgetting the Stockport NESers, a.k.a. Foden hat-trick. But, I mean...
but you know what, Benton, remember we laugh and say, we're Pepsi, this skinny kid, and look at it, him assisting, him scoring.
Not we, you. I've been...
My archive of conversation. So, bother with the foolishness. But come jump off a little bit, jump and do But Junior, we disagree. So let me hear Junior, why you think Ten Hag was correct to hug up and love up and protect a Ronaldo in a game that was like this, an embarrassing game like this. He don't want to embarrass Ronaldo, but he's okay with embarrassing the other players.
All right, so I'm trying to answer this question, and I have to think objectively now because I don't want to come off like a Manchester United fan because I am playing Benton right now. So the reality is for me, and this is for me, the reality is Ronaldo is not a Ten Hag player, right? Casemiro is not a Ten Hag player either. And this is something that we're dancing around. Casemiro was not Ten Hag's first choice midfielder. So Ten Hag could be looking towards the future. We all know, everybody know coming into this game, Man U is not going to win this game, right? All Ten Hag will be doing is parading Ronaldo in a meaningless football game. And we saw, didn't Ragnick do this last year? When he started a game with Bruno playing the 9 and Ronaldo out injured, quote-unquote injured, versus Man City when he played the false 9. So there is something there where, fine, the protecting legacy argument I don't buy. That's just a fancy way to say, you're not in my plans, I am trying to see what I have. We won the last 5 games in a row, 4 games in a row. Now we're playing a real game. Let me see what Rashford can do as a number 9. Let me see what Marshall can do as a number 9. Ronaldo, we know you're one of the greatest players ever. You are one of the 2 best players of your generation. We know if you play, you can lift up this side. But the reality is you're not going to be here next year. And this is a project that I need to see who I have in my stable in games like this. So that is my opinion of what happened. There's no way Man U beating Man City. The biggest question right now that I think everybody kind of sidestepping to me is, how big is the gap between Liverpool and Man City? If Man U can beat up Liverpool the way they did, and come around and turn and get beat up by Man City the way they did, how big is that gap? How big is the gap between Man City and Arsenal? Those are more complete teams. Man U is not a complete team this year. We all know that. They still have reports that for some reason they might try to go back for my boy Barcelona in January. Man U is planning to go back for Luke or the John. However I want him. I'll forget his name now. So what is the purpose of playing Ronaldo in a game when you can't see what you have in the stadium? That is my argument. I'll stick to it, Yamon.
You know what? I don't know. At this point, every game in the Premier League is not meaningless. And a derby is never meaningless. This is what people wake up in the mornings for. I mean, like the game was what, 9 o'clock? I mean, like who wakes up at 9 on a Sunday? It's like everybody was salivating over the Manchester derby. And here you are sitting disrespecting the derby, but meaningless just because they get a little book. I just think we understand, we know the goal, but you should have tried to salvage the game because the second half, as Michele said, City was not as clinical, was not as decisive, was not as strong as the first half, and that is where you have a team who was poor in the first half, then pick it up. You know, I'm not a Fred person, but Fred and Marshall came on the pitch, and immediately you saw where the difference was. We moved from 6-0, 6-1 to 6-3. And I am sitting here thinking, what if you had brought on Casemiro? What if you had brought on Ronaldo? Would it have been 6-5? Would it have been 6-6? And then would Junior be sitting here saying it's a meaningless derby? Junior, I am so disappointed. It can't be meaningless.
No, but come on. To say if you had brought on Casemiro or Ronaldo and it would have been 6-6, that is like saying that Man U is the best side in England once Casemiro and Ronaldo is in the starting lineup. That is what you're telling me, that if Man U...
No, that's not what I'm telling you. I am telling you that Manchester City took their feet off the gas. That's
Right.
what may I tell you. And that
Right.
is what you do is when you have a team that is going at you, most teams cannot go at you for 90 minutes, right? And we've seen it before where possession has not won games. A team will be completely dominating with 90%, and a team will have 10 come back and eke out a win. I am just saying at every time, it's like, as a coach, for me, I feel so disappointed when my side lose, right? And for me, I want the best players on the pitch. If Ronaldo is still a good player, let us not even think about Ronaldo not being a good player. He is. He's not as hasty as before, but he has the vision. And I think with Ronaldo on the pitch, when he's not frustrated, right? Let me say that because Fred frustrated the hell out of him. I just think that City ease up a little bit. And I think they kind of open the door a little bit for Man U to kind of push their head through. And I am sitting here thinking, what if? And I would have enjoyed the game somewhere if it was 6-5. But I think, Junior, at the end of the season, if the goal difference is 3 or 4, make uno don't get a Champions League spot or a European spot, you're going to come back to this and say, we should have scored more goals. And that is just my point. I'm not saying that Man U and Ronaldo are the best things out there in the Premier League, but I just think at any given time, a coach must always put his best players out there.
All right. Fair enough. Go ahead, Benton.
And just to chime in, I mean, I think the argument that you're saying that these players are this player, Casemiro, is not a Ten Hag player. I mean, you drink mud for spit. I mean, ultimately, he's there. The transfer happened on Ten Hag's watch. Granted, there are people above him that are making decisions, but Casemiro is a player that Ten Hag authorized. Because no man can tell me, say, you're a big coach, or you as big as a coach as Ten Hag does not accept a player in his outfit and in his team. And so I don't buy the argument about he's not a Ten Hag player. At the end of the day, a ball game, and Manchester Derby, you're playing against. There's no question that the gulf between Manchester City and the rest of the league is huge. But ultimately, you want to walk out with your guns in your hand and go down dying. And Man City beat this team without their starting CDM. So let's not, we poo-poo Rodri at this and that. But we have to acknowledge that he is the starting CDM for Man City, game in and game out. Calvin Phillips wasn't available, so they put Gundogan in the hole, and them just balling off the field. Casemiro should have played the game. That's my thing.
Fair enough. But I'm just going to say one last thing. Come on, before we start talking about goal difference, and if we lose 3 goals or whatever, Brighton beat Man U 4-0 to start the season. No, 2-1 to start the season, and Brentford beat Man U 4-0. So before we start complaining about goal difference, we complain about the 6 points over drop for start the season. El Pistolero said...
So wait, big. Hold on, sorry. So, un momento, please.
Yeah.
What? You guys spend so much transfer dollars and then just a ship goal, so? Is this the thing? Is this what the level of mediocrity we have to accept now? Is we lost to Brighton, we get 6 from Man City, this is enough?
Well, all right.
Juna, why is Benton saying we?
Well, hold on. Can you see, come on, I'm doing my best Benton impersonation on the show right now, right? And let me show you, people, because I'm here on the show now, so big up to everybody watching, listening right now on Streams FM, because we're on Streams FM in England. They're probably like, yo, on the show I go on to this week. I'm going to show you something now. This is called, if I am rubber and you are glue, what you say bounce off to me and stick on to you. What other Benton going to be the glue is come on going to be the glue. Because Benton, what you just said a while ago, the money that was spent and the side is shipping goal. Let me change the picture that I have up right now to one Mr. Thiago Silva. Perfect segue. Speaking of spending money and shipping goals, I have a picture up right now. No, that is not a goalkeeper in the 18-yard box. That is a player wearing number 6 in a Chelsea jersey, diving at the feet of a Crystal Palace baller wearing number 9. And yes, that is his hand on the ball. Come on, no, Benton.
Can you
Benton first.
play the video before him reach there, because
they will shut down our stream.
No, but listen. Because remember, I was saying that what is he doing, So there's so many things. At first I was like, all right then, it's a clear goal scoring opportunity. When you look back on it, it wasn't, because the defender them got back in position. That's the first thing. Second of all, there was a foul, soft you might call it, but there was a foul before he fell. Me personally, I wouldn't call a foul. I would give him a yellow. I wouldn't give him a red because there was no goal scoring opportunity, but I would give him a yellow. Unfortunate thing with that is him angled the ball twice. So I have to give him the yellow for angle the ball the first time, then give him a second yellow for angle the ball again. So I think VAR looked at it. I think they looked at the totality of it, and they realized it wasn't a clear goal scoring opportunity, and there was a foul before he fell. So I think he thought that he was fouled, and that wasn't what the call was supposed to be. Forget all of that. Assuming that Crystal Palace, who have 7 shots to our 13, have 36% possession to our 64, and have half the passes, would have beaten us. Listen, only if you cut it out. Cut out the foolishness, Junior and Benton.
And what we need to cut out is the last 2-minute diatribe from Carbon with what you just said. And Benton, please insert some common sense in this conversation, please.
Come on, I drink mud for spit, though. I thought it was Junior alone. Here's the deal. Thiago Silva granted, he has more cojones than Casemiro or the Manchester United team. Because Thiago Silva, by any means necessary, wasn't going to let Ayew pass to go to goal. So he said, I will play goalie. He deliberately tapped the ball away from the striker who was in on goal. And the referee thought about it's not a goal scoring opportunity. Then subsequently, Thiago Silva headed the ball to Abba, and Abba scored. And the man stood up on the field. Red card, him should I get. Chelsea, this is why Chelsea fans gave the referee a ball of the week. Because brown envelope or something happened with VAR.
So people talking about Chelsea. Chelsea defeated Crystal Palace by 2-1. As we put up this week's results, as Arsenal beat Tottenham 3-1. Bournemouth draw with Brentford 0-0. Chelsea again beat Crystal Palace 2-1. Newcastle defeated Fulham 4-1. Liverpool, the story that is kind of swept under the rug because of Thiago Silva and the Manchester crossing. Liverpool draw with Brighton 3-3. Everton beat Southampton 2-1. West Ham defeated Wolves 2-0. Manchester City again defeated Man U 6-3. Leeds draw 0-0 with Aston Villa. And Leicester City and Nottingham Forest will be playing tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Any major takeaways from this week in England? Come on.
I thought that what Crystal Palace fans did for Conor Gallagher was world class. I mean, he was playing against their side, but yet they gave him a standing ovation. He was the player of the season at Crystal Palace when he was at loan from Chelsea. So it was really good to see him score the winning goal. And it's not even a little dibby goal. It was an exceptional goal. It was very good. So that was really my thing. Conor Gallagher came on and he did very well.
Benta, what about you? What's one of your major takeaways?
Can I just split it in half and just add it to one? My first half is Antonio Conte. I am sorely disappointed with what's going on at Tottenham. I expected a winning mentality. This team, that Tottenham is showing up not playing to win. They're playing not to lose. And you guys can give me bug of the week. I know Junior said the midfield was wide open. Ray. Bissouma was transferred there. He's not playing many minutes. Antonio Conte and Tottenham, very disappointing. And secondly, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp. Very disappointing. I mean, I know injuries has been a problem, but at some point he said we have to reinvent the team after the loss against Napoli. They had the international break, and I didn't see any reinvention. So I expected Liverpool to play a little bit more defensive discipline. They got skinned by Brighton. So Klopp needs to get to work and get to work fast.
For me, though, Wolverhampton, ever since my boy the Lever went to Tottenham, Nuno, what has happened to Wolves? Now they've just fired their coach again, or they fired their coach now and looking for a replacement. So often we see so many good teams in England that is so close to breaking into being a perennial top 6 or top 8 team. Because Wolves to me was close to being a perennial Europa team, right? Under Nuno. And the bottom just seemed to fell out. And that is one major takeaway for me this week. And what's going on at Aston Villa? Something not right at Aston Villa. I don't bring up the Liam Bailey story. It's just Aston Villa on a whole. Something is not right. Those are my major takeaways. But other results in Europe this week. Let me bring up the standings. Right now, Arsenal is still on top of the league with 21 points. Manchester City is 1 point behind. The only difference between Arsenal and Man City right now is that Man City has two draws to Arsenal none. and Arsenal have one loss. Tottenham is still in the top three. Brighton and all have overall there. The side without a coach is up there at fourth, followed by Chelsea and Man U. Man U just seems to be just destined for six. Newcastle is on the rise to seven. Down in the bottom, you have Leicester, Nottingham Forest, Wolverhampton. As soon as they reach bottom three, coach just get fired. And Crystal Palace and Southampton down there battling for relegation. Any surprise so far as we enter into the autumn season? What changes you expect in Premier League?
Aston Villa coach while losing more. I think Stephen, and I don't know. And so we can't talk about Aston Villa and not talk about Leon Bailey because he's a Jamaican and we watch Aston Villa because of Leon Bailey. Let us just be honest. Because the bad not long and watch Aston Villa.
Right.
So I thought that Leon had a good game. But when you go on social media, the fans, like Leon Bailey was the S, he was bad. And I just thought he had a good game, crossing balls on his weaker foot. And I don't know, sometimes he can be a little bit, temperamental because in the 7th minute, he was so lucky not to get a yellow card. So for people who don't know, people asking, why should the referee give a card? Punting the ball away after the whistle is blown is a cardable offense. So the only reason why we don't see it is in the book, it's in the rule book. So the only time we don't see it as much because sometimes the referee is saying, it's too early in the match, him don't want for whatever. But we've seen referee give yellow card and red card within 2 minutes a game. So that was a little bit surprising that he didn't give Leon a yellow card. He called him over and talked with him. Leon had maybe 5 fouls in the game that were cardable. He didn't. He ended up getting a yellow and was pulled. I do think that Leon Bailey is Aston Villa's best attacking player on the wing. So I was surprised that he was pulled by Steven Gerrard when they were up a man. You want somebody running at you when you have the man advantage. And I don't know if because he was on a yellow, but he's just a defender. So we don't have to worry about that. So that was kind of, baffling to me. So I think Steven Gerrard, if he continues on, because they only have 2 wins. 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. They're on 8 points, and they're in 14th place. And I do think if Steven Gerrard loses at least 3 more games before we have 3 more games before World Cup, I think he will not last till January.
Benton, is it Leon Bailey or is there something more? So what's going on at Villa?
I think it's a mixture of both. It's not just one or the other. Leon Bailey has potential, and we know he's a talented baller. But the environment has to be right. Everything has to click, because it's competitive sports, and you're playing against teams that are just as competitive as you. And, and you're not just going to walk up and go out and win a ball game. So, Bullhead was on the show a few months ago, or maybe last year, and, he said something that I always will rally back to. He said, a.k.a. Craig Butler, that Bullhead. He said, Leon just have to put him head down and work. And regardless if he's not a defensive player, come on, if that's what the team requires at the moment, him just have to go work on both sides of the ball game. I just say go. But another thing I want to say though, but I'm looking forward to Arsenal versus Liverpool. Arsenal versus Liverpool next weekend. This Arsenal team, the way they're playing, this should be something special because Liverpool might get a little fix-up if they don't start things out.
All right, and that's looking at next week. Well, let's switch gears real quick, though. Let's move over to the Serie A, and let's look at this week's Serie A games. In the Serie A, Juventus defeated Bologna 3-0. Napoli defeated Torino 3-1. Inter Milan lost to Roma 2-1. AC Milan defeated Empoli 3-1. Lazio defeated Spezia 4-0. Lecce, Cremonese. Hopefully I pronounced that right. 1-1. Sampdoria lost to Monza 3-0. Sassuolo beat the brakes off of Salernitana 5-0. Atalanta defeated Fiorentina 1-0. And Verona Udinese left to play tomorrow at 2:45. But looking at the Serie A standing, Napoli is still up at top right now on goal difference. Well, no, they're clearly at top at goal difference +3 over Atalanta. Look at the Serie A table right now. Napoli, Atalanta, Lazio is your top three with AC Milan fourth. Any surprises in Italy? Come on, are we surprised at what we're seeing in Italy?
Not really surprised because some leagues I said they're farmers league. I think one of the most balanced leagues would be this league. We really don't have a clear cut runner with people like Inter, people like AC Milan, but people like Juventus. But Juventus clearly struggling. They're seven. I am surprised that the coach did not lose his job the last time. When they lost, I think they lost 3-0 or 4-0. So I am not surprised. Josie talk a big game, but Roma is still in it because they're six and they have been playing good because they beat Inter. So there's no real surprise right here. No team that is not in the top 10 that should be in the top 10 or any team who should be in the second half of the table up there. It's the usual subject, but the only difference is they're not in the order that we're used to seeing them. Atalanta for us is a good side. Inconsistent though. I mean, like they'll be really good now, and then next week they're not so good, and then you worry, why is Atalanta not playing at their prime, whatever they can do. So I think Napoli has shown why they should be top of the table right now. Still early warm, 8 games. Udinese, they have an opportunity to go third if they win tomorrow, because they played a game less. So I think the table is okay. I like where it is. I'm surprised with Inter a little bit being in ninth though, but I guess Lukaku is still out injured. So it's still early warm, and I think the teams that's supposed to be top 10 are in top 10.
Still early warm. Benton, do you agree that it is still early warm, or should the traditionalist Italian fans be concerned about this season?
I am surprised with Napoli holding, week in and week out. I expect Napoli to drop, and they haven't. Whatever Spalletti is doing with Napoli, they're finding players. They have been impressive. Now, Inter Milan is puzzling, and they went out, they made moves in the off season, and gave Simone Inzaghi whatever he wants to an extent to win this thing. And even though AC Milan is not leading the table, I don't know if Inter Milan seems like they will be in the top two if Napoli keeps this up. So I am a little bit disappointed in Inter. You cannot be a one-man team, and the absence of Lukaku should not be the deciding factor. I don't even remember who they lost to this weekend. Roma. They lost to Roma,
Yeah.
which was another big game for them. They already lost to AC Milan. I'm a little bit disappointed in Inter.
Yeah,
But Napoli has been very impressive.
Indeed. I agree with all the points that were given by both of you. And I'll also just add one final touch to it about Syria, is that a season like this is a season where a Jose Mourinho will slip, trip, fall, and win a trophy, right? And this season might be telling for Jose, just like what's happening in Spain for Cholo and at Atletico Madrid, because we can be questioning, is he losing his touch? Roma and Jose might be questioned at the end of the season. Has he lost his touch? Because this is a type of season that a Jose Mourinho-led side will find a way for reach the top. So we'll see. More to come on that space. But let's switch over to La Liga real quick. Because we don't about to go to Bundesliga. Because Bundesliga are just regular. Last time I checked, Real Madrid.
Actually, no, it's not regular because it's who bent on Union Berlin in the top spot. But carry on.
Yes, FC Coach Ernst Fischer and Union Berlin are gone in. But we don't know if they're not going to last still.
And Bayer Leverkusen the second to last in the table.
Well, let's talk about. You talk about Union Berlin. Let's go through the scores in Bundesliga this weekend. And before Bayern Munich beat the brakes off of Bayer Leverkusen 4-0. RB Leipzig beat the brakes off of Bochum 4-0. Freiburg, Bochum, whatever them want. Sorry, come on, because you're a German expert. I'm not. Freiburg beat Mainz 2-1. FC Cologne beat Borussia Dortmund 3-2. The big bad Union Berlin that come on and Benta just talked about got the Birks beaten off of them by Eintracht Frankfurt 2-0. Wolfsburg beat Stuttgart 3-2. Werder Bremen beat Borussia them 5-1. Hertha Berlin draw with Hoffenheim 1-1. And Schalke lost to Augsburg 3-2. So Bayern Munich, I think, sent a message this week. They sent a message to Germany.
But yes, Union Berlin got. I don't know why do not think 2-0 is the brakes beat off of you.
Because you're coming off the.
You got the brakes beat off you today. So that's it. Union Berlin, they're still top. Still top of the table, so it's okay.
Go ahead. The interesting thing about Bundesliga though is Julian Nagelsmann, right? And ultimately, coming into the going into the international break, there were whispers. In fact, chairman or director Hassan Slahamovic said that they need to cut out the foolishness basically and start winning games because they were on a 4 games winless streak, winless run. So it's a huge win for him. Oliver Kahn came out and backed him in the window and said in the international break and said, he's still the man. But you cannot ignore if they lost this game, if the pressure wouldn't turn up on him. So big victory for him.
Yeah. I mean, for me to add to that though is that Bayern Munich is Bayern Munich, and that side is a big side. You don't need a rocket scientist at coach, but you need somebody that they can respect. And I think the respect question is still there, because if one thing they talk about all the time with Nagelsmann is the way him dress, imagine what they talk about in a locker room about him. So we will see. Union Berlin is still number one in the league, but we will see. BM says the Premier League is a step too far for Bailey. At that level, he is a very average at best. It's just the truth. He also says, so the special one is no longer special, question mark. Reggie Lafad says, dodgy refereeing this weekend in EPL. Thiago should have gotten a red. Emerson Royals should have only gotten a yellow against Arsenal. I wouldn't even talk about that, but we'll table that for another week. Herala says, no way Ericsson and Bruno together could compete in the middle of the park without gaps when United don't yet have a team to defend in wide areas, especially right side. Well said, Heraldo. Well said. But we're pushing up against the clock, so let's head on over to Yard Ballers. But before we enter into Yard Ballers, we have to talk about the big match, right? Come on.
Which big match? You're not touching La Liga again.
Eh?
You're not touching La Liga again.
All right, we'll go on La Liga.
Barcelona lead the table. They're 5 games unbeaten. That's just it. Messiah click.
Benton, Benton, your old team Barcelona is leading. How do you feel, sir?
In the off-season prediction, I had them winning the league, because they scam and they found. I had them winning the league, but as long as they don't win Champions League, I am all right because that's the ultimate prize for that thief inside. Um, that disgusting team. That's the ultimate prize. La Liga is not enough for them. I saw recently that they have turned a profit from all the selling that they have, in the of TV rights, etc. But they have the horses to win the La Liga, and Real Madrid not give finding ample backup for Karim Benz, depending on Fat Hazard. I don't like that.
So, boy, what a man, fiery. Even though it's on the scores here, the game between Real Madrid and Osasuna did end up finishing 1-1. Atletico Bilbao defeated Almeria 4-0. Cadiz and Villarreal draw 0-0. Getafe and lost to Real Valladolid 3-2. Atletico Madrid defeated Sevilla 2-0. Thief in Barcelona. Come on, Barcelona defeated Mallorca 1-0. Valencia Espanyol draw 2-2. Celta Vigo defeated Real Betis 1-0. Real Sociedad and Girona. Real Sociedad wanted to give Girona a Man United special, but came up a goal short, beating Girona 5-3. And Elche and Real Vallecano will be playing tomorrow at 3 o'clock. As we move on and enter into the international break, and we're leaving the international break and we're back into club football. Us as a Caribbean-based, primarily Jamaican-based show, all our Jamaican friends were looking forward to a big match. The rematch between Argentina and Jamaica. Some said it was a revenge game for the 1998 World Cup. Come on, I'll let you go first.
Whoever says a revenge game needs to
I
get their
did.
head checked.
I
Like,
did.
see, my point exactly. Listen, we, as in the Reggaeboyz, we did well. The scoreline is not, it don't tell the whole story. So we, it a defensive error caused the first goal. We were defending well, we were going forward, we were moving forward. And I'm going to say this, and I don't know if Craig record me and cuss because me a cuss him right back. I am yet to see Leon play, and the reason why we talk about Leon because he's the face of the national team. It's not Antonio, it's not whatever. He's a local boy. He's playing in the big leagues. He's the face of the whatever. I am yet to see a good game from him in Jamaica colors. I need him to let go the ball more. I mean, military gonna talk about that and them want to kill him, but he needs to let the ball go more. Play boss on Barcelona. Argentina, they were playing the ball around us, but we wanted to do step overs and dribble and whatever, so we were losing the ball. But overall, for the first game under the new coach, I think we did okay until the man of the moment came on the pitch. I mean, like he's the goat for a reason. Those two goals were good goals, and I guess I don't know if we were starstruck. I don't know if our backline was starstruck, where they allowed him to kind of like wiggle him. And then Andre Blake is the best goalkeeper in MLS. Who you get beaten at your post? They set your wall, you set your wall, and you still get beaten. Which part you there? You want a, you know what, Andre? You want to lick me head back, but you're still the best keeper in the MLS and Jamaica number one keeper. It was a good game. I want to see what the coach is going to say. I think somebody say Hector is going to be called up in the next one because they need defenders. I think that I see a face junior. I see the coach was saying that he's having issues where his attacking line is good. He's having problems in the defense section. And to the person who called Damian Lowe, Jamaican Harry Maguire, stop it. Stop it. But it wasn't too bad. I think we can only improve, and I am interested to see what happens, with Nation League and Gold Cup.
So Benton, I don't remember the coach name now, but his first game, the Reggaeboyz is now being led by an ex-Iceland coach. Benton, what's your take on this game?
Coach Doctor
Wh-
Grimison,
Why,
sir,
why,
is
why,
the
why
coach
ever
of the
call
Red.
him doctor?
A
He's a
doctor, he's a
dentist.
dentist.
Wait, a
He's a
footballer,
dentist.
but a coach. I don't. Am I going to pick up teeth?
um,
Might as
you
well.
know, yeah, come on, touch all the key things. It's something to take away. I mean, he saw the players and now he just work from it. That's pretty much it. They play
Right.
against a next level team, just work from it. Ultimately, the objective is to see how they compete against the CONCACAF teams and building something. If I'm Argentina, I have more concern than Jamaica because there's no way Argentina should not have kicked up Jamaica without the general coming on the field, aka Messi. So to that end, Argentina's coach Scolini need to make sure that the other players are firing at the World Cup if they think they want to win that World Cup. So the Rodrigo, the Paul of the world, they need to step forward and ball. Jamaica, it's just a exercise for Jamaica for just rub against and get some jersey and get some selfie and images with the ballers. That's pretty much it.
And get some
Coach
money.
and get some money, much needed money. So, no, I'm not gonna read too much into. There's nothing to read too much in it for me. They didn't get 20, and they were competitive. You
Yeah,
know, and
go ahead.
yeah, and I mean Messi is Messi. It's just another day. I just saw it go. Messi is Messi.
Yeah,
Nothing needs to say.
and Jason Frame said he was most impressed with Liam Bailey's defensive work. Offensively, he still has not shown up. Speaking about Liam Bailey. Now, I'm going to make a comment real quick before we move on to yard ballers. Um, you see, for me, right, what's going to be huge for the JFF and for this version or rendition of the Jamaican football team is going to be the team selection. Now, come on, you jokingly said that Hector is going to be picked next game
I
because
wasn't
niggas man.
joking.
All right, we weren't joking, but the coach said that defensively we need some work, right? I am going
Yes.
to scour the next squad that get picked because between now and whenever the next game is, this coach is not doing anything, should not be doing anything other than watching games of players that can play for Jamaica right now, right? So if I see some peculiar selections in the next squad, I don't want to hear nothing about coach a pick him side. Me don't want to hear nothing about coach. It's going to be very obvious if certain players get picked for the next group of games. Because if the coach can't see them play, when we watch an old video, when you have other players that can play for you, that are playing at a high level, we're going to overlook those players just because we have a hunch. So Hector is can still play at a certain level when we watch him old videos. Because new videos now can overtake the other players. That's all I have to say about that. So I just make
Economical.
JFF know from now that we're gonna have the iron sharpened and ready for send some lick after one. Anyone who keep up them kind of foolishness there. Honest about that.
Listen, if he says that defensively, what we have right now is not good enough, he's going to go back and look maybe at a taxi, at a O'Neill Fisher, at a Hector. We may not like it, but let us be honest. Hector wasn't always poor. If Hector plays 30 games, he probably poured 15 games. I mean, he created, you know, some little opportunities through the midfield. And I guess Hector wasn't too bad when they moved him up further up the pitch. So, sometimes you just need a coach to bring out the best of you. But if he does not have the players, and if you think about it, if you think about the pool defensively, who? Gregory Lee was supposed to be in the squad, but he got injured. I think he broke his leg. So when you think about it, we really don't have. Even if you look in USL, we really don't have anybody. Them call up Kevin Lambert. He did not play. I'm trying to see what other defender we have out there other than the established one of a taxi and a Fisher and so and I said the other day about Alvas and somebody cause but if you look at it, Alvas plays every week. So most times 90 minutes the FT Cincinnati. So it's going to be interesting to see. The Jamaica Premier League will be starting, I think, next month. We're starting soon. So you never know. You have to bring in some local players to improve. As much as we quarrel, so some of them not good. Some of them fill a need. I was also surprised that Richard King, which is an exceptional young player, and I thought that he would have moved overseas because trust me, Richard King needs some development, and I'm not knocking the Jamaica Premier League, but I just think that his ceiling is higher, and this is the time for him to move. So it's going to be interesting to see who we pick for, whatever. And then Jamaica is go on. That's in a yard ballers.
Let's
So
not
that's
waste. Let's not waste. Go ahead, Benton. Go ahead, real quick.
Nah, man, yard ballers, man. Go to yard
So,
ballers.
so come on. Let's transition straight into yard ballers.
So the Reggaeboyz will play Cameroon in November. So this was confirmed by Ricketts. So as Junior said, this is an opportunity for the coach to get his players in. If he said that the current crop of defenders are not good enough, let us see what he does. You're right. Adam be a dentist. He really have nothing to do in the downtime. So he really can watch film and see these players who are playing in MLS. Unfortunately, Only Fisher has not been getting any minutes. He has been on the bench for Minnesota, but Taxi has been playing, and as I said, Alvarez has been playing. And I don't think Hector find a club better. The last time I heard he was either on trial as a fourth tier team or a fifth tier team in England. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, so Andre Lewis of Hartford Athletic scored a hat trick in a 6-3 victory over Charleston, and I think it has been the first hat trick for Hartford Athletic in USL. Junior Flemings was in the 18 for his team. They won 6-3, I think, or 6-2. He was an unused sub, which is good because that scathing article where the coach said that Junior was not fit, he was not at the level that he wants for someone in League One. So it's nice to see Junior really getting an opportunity to be even on the bench. Shamar Nichols started for his team and he's off the mark. He scored a goal in a 2-1 victory. I posted the goal on my Facebook page. It's on Twitter. I retweeted it. It's a very good goal, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's actually started the play before, so he ended up finishing the play. As we said already about Liam Bailey, he was so lucky to be on the pitch because he punted the ball away in the 7th minute and the ref talked to him. So, and what else? So there will be no international game for the Reggae Girls this month. The team will return to Jamaica in November to play games. Please don't make them play a game against Jamaica Premier League footballers, for the love of God. So I don't know who they're going to play against. They have not said anything about any opponents. Dalton Wint, who everybody thought resigned, released the JFF financials this week. So for a man who resigned, him surely a work. That's my yard ballers roundup for this week. Tune in next week to hear me talk about our yard ballers.
Well, I respect come on, and I did my very best Benton impersonation, but nobody can do Benton like Benton. So next week again, you don't know people, Ballchat Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Ballchat Podcast, on Twitter at Ballchat1, on Facebook at Ballchat. You can also email us at ballchatpodcast@gmail.com. And I have up the wrong logo right there, so the old picture that coming up on the show, whether up on the station there again. What make them up same way? You know what, light a fire upon them. Benton, the show misses you, man. Come on. Later.
Bless up.
Bless up, family.